You are listening to CLAT Tribe.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
It's Sunday, January 25th, 2026, and if you're anywhere near a major city in India today, especially Delhi, you know that feeling in the air.
Oh yeah, the traffic diversions, the buildings all lit up, there's a certain energy.
Exactly. It's the eve of India's 77th Republic Day.
A huge milestone. And it's one of those times where, the past and the present really feel like they're colliding.
That's a perfect way to put it. And to navigate that collision, we've got a massive stack of sources today, mostly from the Hindu and related coverage.
Right.
So our mission for this deep dive is to look beyond the parade and really get into the mix of it all. The celebration, sure, but also the political tensions and the international strategy that's defining this moment.
It's a fascinating contrast, isn't it? On one hand, you have all the pomp and circumstance.
The fighter jets, the awards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you just scratch the surface of the papers today and you find all this friction bubbling up, states clashing with the center, and even some, really heartbreaking stories about how policy impacts people on the ground.
So let's start with the spectacle, but maybe with a strategic eye. The Republic Day parade is never just a parade. It's a geopolitical statement.
A billboard, really.
And the VIP box this year, it still tells a pretty big story. We usually have one chief guest, singular. But this year, we're sort of pulling a doubleheader.
We are. And it's a very deliberate one.
Yeah.
You have the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, and the European Council President, Antonio Costa.
That's a lot of European leadership on one stage. That feels significant. What's the signal here?
I think the signal is strategic partnership in, giant capital letters. You have to remember the context.
The free trade agreement.
The FTA, exactly. India and the EU have been working on this for so long. Having both of them there is a diplomatic way of saying, look, we're at the finish line.
And it's not just about business, is it? The world is, it's a messy place right now.
Fractured was the word von der Leyen used. She made this comment that India and the EU are showing a fractured world, that another way is possible.
Through dialogue and openness.
Right. It's a direct counter-narrative to all the isolationism we're seeing.
That theme of navigating a fractured world, it's a perfect bridge to President Draupadi Murmu's address to the nation. I read the transcript, and she didn't really shy away from the global chaos.
Not at all. She positioned India as a messenger of peace. It's that classic diplomatic stance, but with a modern twist. Global harmony isn't just a nice idea. It's vital for our economic future.
But, and this is what I found really interesting, it wasn't all just soft power and peace talk. She also talked about muscle.
Hard power, yes.
Yes.
She made a very, very specific reference to Operation Sindoor.
Right, let's unpack that a bit. That was the precision strike from last year.
Correct. Against terror infrastructure. And she used it as a prime example of self-reliance at Manirparda in defense. She said it showed India can destroy these terror centers and that our opponents met their end.
That's a sharp tone for a ceremonial address. Usually it's all broad strokes about unity.
It's the velvet glove and the iron fist, isn't it? We want peace, we want dialogue, we want to do deals with Europe.
But don't mistake that for weakness.
Precisely. And she also really leaned into the Nari Shakti, the women's power narrative.
That was the core of her domestic message.
But look at the data she used. She mentioned that over 10 crore women, that's 100 million, are now involved with self-help groups.
She's linking women's empowerment directly to the economy.
Directly. It's not just a social justice issue anymore. It's framed as an economic necessity to become a developed nation by 2047.
And you see that theme of achievement in the awards list, too. The Padma Awards are out. 113 Padma Shris.
And of course, we all scan for the famous names first.
It's human nature. Seeing R. Madhavan on the list is great, but for cricket fans, it's a huge day. Rohit Sharma.
And Harmanpreet Kaur, both of them, well-deserved.
And Vijay Amritraj, the tennis legend, getting the Padma Bhushan. But, beyond the headlines, the list also has these incredible unsung heroes.
Like Ashok, the Dalit entrepreneur, and Buddha Krishnamani, the archaeologist. That's what makes the list so interesting.
But if we're talking about real gallantry, there's one name that is literally out of this world.
Huh. I see what you did there. You mean Group Captain Shuhanshu Shukla.
Exactly. Receiving the Ashok Chakra. Now, for context, this is the highest peacetime gallantry award, the peacetime equivalent of the Paramvir Chakra.
And he's getting it for his mission to the International Space Station last June. It's incredible. It shows just how strategic that whole mission was for India.
It marks our arrival as a serious player in manned space missions.
So that's the celebration part. The lights, the medals, the dignitaries. But then you turn the page in the newspaper, and the mood from the state capitals is,
Yeah.
well, it's different.
Very different. This is where we have to peel back the layers. While the center is projecting this image of one nation, the states are getting louder about their rights. There's a lot of federal friction.
A real split-screen effect. Let's start down south, in Karnataka. There's a huge row over this new rural jobs law,
Yeah.
the V.B. Graham-G Act.
Yes. And just to clarify, this is the law that's replacing the famous MGNRA-GA.
The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act.
Yes. The one that guaranteed 100 days of work. And this new act is not going down well.
Not at all. Karnataka Minister Priyank Kharge did not mince his words. His big issue is the financial burden.
He's saying the center changed the rules without asking them, and now the states have to pay more.
Exactly. He's arguing it erodes workers' rights, and he used this incredibly provocative metaphor to make his point.
The one about the name.
Yeah. He said if the law doesn't protect rights, they might as well have named it Natharam.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a loaded statement. Contrasting Ram with Natharam Godse in the context of a scheme named after Gandhi.
It's a rhetorical grenade. It shows just how deep the anger is. It's not just about finances. It's about political identity.
And speaking of identity, let's talk about Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin is on the offensive again about language.
It was Language Martyrs' Day there, and he unveiled busts of Phalamuthu and Natarasan, who were icons of the anti-Hindi agitations.
This goes way back.
Decades. And his quote was just so clear. There was no space for manual Hindi in the past, nor is there now, and there never will be.
Manual Hindi, as in the imposition of the language.
Exactly. He's drawing a hard red line. While Delhi might be talking about unification, states like Tamil Nadu are reasserting their cultural distinctiveness.
So you've got financial friction in Karnataka, language friction in Tamil Nadu, and if we move east to Assam and West Bengal, the fight is over who gets to vote.
The voter rolls. This is a huge flashpoint. In Assam, opposition parties are saying that fake objections are being filed in bulk.
To do what, exactly?
To get people removed from the draft voter lists. They allege it's targeting Bengali Muslims specifically. They're calling it political interference to disenfranchise a whole community.
And in West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee is using even stronger language.
Oh, much stronger. She's accusing the Election Commission of torturing people with a revision of the rolls, claiming it's all being done to help the BJP.
So it's this incredible paradox. On Kartavya Path in Delhi, you see a show of absolute unity and strength.
And in the state capitals, you hear accusations of exclusion, financial pressure, and cultural overreach. It's the classic push and pull of Indian federalism.
Let's zoom out again beyond the borders. We talked about the EU, but there was another big visitor recently, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed from the UAE.
MBZ, yeah. This is central to India's strategic autonomy. You host the Europeans, but just days before, you're cementing ties with a key partner in the Arab world.
The numbers are just staggering. I saw a target of $200 billion in bilateral trade.
$200 billion. And it's not just about, buying and selling things. They signed a 10-year LNG supply agreement.
Energy security.
Exactly. And cooperation on nuclear reactors.
Yeah.
So Europe gives us tech and markets. The UAE gives us energy and investment. We are not putting all our eggs into one basket.
But not all our relationships in the neighborhood are quite so smooth. There's this slightly strange story coming out of Bangladesh involving an audio tape.
Yes. This is a bit of a diplomatic row. The Bangladesh Foreign Ministry said they were shocked and aggrieved.
Over what?
Well, the former Prime Minister, Sheikh Hasina, is in India. The current government in Bangladesh considers her a fugitive. And apparently, at some event in Delhi, audio statements from her were played.
So the Bangladeshi government is angry that India gave her a platform.
That's it. They're saying it sets a dangerous precedent. It's a very tricky situation for India, managing relationships with a former ally who is now persona non grata back home.
It really shows that foreign policy isn't just about big deals. It's about these messy human things.
Politics is always about managing contradictions.
Speaking of messy human complications, I want to shift gears. We've talked about high politics and parades, but one of the most powerful stories I read today was about a 7-year-old girl named Ria.
That story really stood out. It's about the human cost of policy, something that gets lost when we just talk about GRAP-E and pollution numbers.
For anyone not in the North, GRP is the emergency plan for when pollution gets really bad. So Rhea, who has autism spectrum disorder, lives in Noida, and her school keeps switching between online and offline because of the pollution and coal.
Which is an annoyance for most kids. But for a child like Rhea, it's It's devastating.
Her mother described finding her just crying in the school's swing area because she couldn't handle the constant sudden changes.
You have to understand the psychology here. Children on the autism spectrum, they rely so heavily on routine and predictability. That's their anchor. When the government announces a school closure at 9 p.m. for the next day, that anchor is just gone.
A psychologist in the article called it cognitive overload and emotional imbalance.
And one of the parents made such a sharp point. She said, what's the point of online classes if my daughter's exposed to pollution anyway? Because the stress of being cooped up means she needs more therapy sessions, which means going outside.
It raises this huge question about inclusive policy, doesn't it? When these emergency plans are made, are they thinking about the most vulnerable?
A one-nation approach often misses these crucial, specific needs.
Before we wrap up, we have to pay tribute. We lost a giant this week. Mark Tully passed away at 90.
The voice of India. It's hard to explain to a younger generation what he meant. For decades, if you wanted to know what was really going on in India, you didn't listen to the state broadcaster.
You tuned into the BBC to hear Mark Tully.
He just had this incredible credibility. There's that amazing story from the emergency era that captures it perfectly.
The one with I.K. Gujral.
Yes. So, during the emergency, Sanjay Gandhi's inner circle sent an order to Gujral, who was the information minister. The order was, and this is a quote, to pull down Tully's trousers and give him a few lashes.
Can you even imagine that? Being ordered to physically assault a journalist.
And Gujral refused. He basically protected Tully. It's a funny story now, but it shows you the kind of pressure he was under. He loved India, and India really loved him back.
He was part of the fabric. And briefly, another legend mentioned in the sources, Saina Newall.
The badminton star, right?
There's a piece about her legacy. She was the first Indian to be world #1. She started a revolution in the sport, but the article calls it the price of politics.
Because she joined the PJP.
Right. The argument is that her public image became blurred. She went from being this unanimous sporting icon to, for some, a polarized political figure.
It's a really modern problem, isn't it? Separating the achievement from the ideology.
So let's try and pull this all together. We've gone from Republic Day parades to school closures, from EU presidents to Mark Tully.
I think the snapshot we're getting is of a nation that is incredibly confident on the world stage. Space missions, hosting world leaders, striking terror camps. That global India is loud and clear.
But internally?
Internally, it's a churn. You have a confident center trying to streamline things with a one-nation push.
And a very diverse federation pushing back, saying, hey, wait a minute, what about our language, our funding, our needs?
And caught right in the middle of that big picture conflict are people like Ria.
The little girl in Noida.
Exactly. She's a reminder that efficiency and streamlining isn't always the answer. Sometimes what you need is flexibility.
And I think that's the thought we want to leave everyone with today. As India celebrates the Republic, we should ask, how do we balance that drive for one-nation efficiency with the very specific, often messy needs of our most vulnerable citizens? Can we be a superpower without leaving the Rias of the world behind?
A good question to think about while watching the parade tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to CLAT Tribe.